Hello everyone, welcome back to PolyNerdic ProWrestling as we dive into day 2 of the PolyNerdic Round Robin Special Cup 2019 edition. Did one of these, if you watched day 1 you heard me talk about it. I did one of these last fall in response to the G1 Climax. You know, the game came out after the tournament was over, but I couldn't resist doing one. I love round robin tournaments. If you've been watching any of the past stuff, you know I do a lot of tournaments. Single elimination, round robin, all that. I love them. Love tournaments. I love the random chance of throwing all these guys into matches together and seeing who comes out on top. You know, this not being booked the way real professional wrestling is, there's much more randomness to this. This is A bracket for this year's tournament. As you can see, we're using the 2-point system, which I myself forgot until the end of yesterday's episode. Or not yesterday's episode, but day 1's episode. I forgot I chose the 2-point system this year instead of the 5-point that I've traditionally used in my tournaments. This is the bracket as it stands now. As you can tell from the fact that this is day 2 of the tournament, there's not a lot of separation between the winners and the losers right now. You've got 4 guys with 2 points and 4 guys with 2 points on each bracket. You know, 4 guys with 2 points, 4 guys with no points. It's not till later on that we see some separation occur, and at that point you have to start figuring out which matches mean the most. On my end, I got to figure out, like, I want the most important matches to end each day, but at this point in time, all the matches have the same level of importance, you know. So I do the best I can with what I have here. This is, as I said, day 2 of the tournament. I'm going to try to squeeze this in real quick before I go see Spider-Man later this afternoon, so hopefully it doesn't take more than an hour. It shouldn't. Day 2's tournament of the tournament is going to be a little different too. I'm instituting a thing of, traditionally I have always done A bracket match, B bracket match, A bracket match, B bracket match, all the way through. This year on even number days, the first match will be B bracket match. So we're mixing it up a little bit in that regard. And the first match of today should be something interesting. We got Ricochet. He's going to take on Seth Rollins. You know what? Let's just get into it. Yeah, we're going to go that route with it. We're going to do B bracket match, followed by A bracket. Back and forth. And then, you know, like I said, odd days will start with an A bracket match and end with a B bracket. That way, you know, I've always called it the last 2 matches of each day of these tournaments that I do. I've always called it the A bracket main event and the B bracket main event. Now we're going to truly have main events from both brackets all the way through. So that's what we're going to do. While Seth and Ricochet get rolling here, I'm going to rearrange these matches into the pattern I want them to be in. Rollins lost his day 1 match to Walter. Took it to the big man. But Walter got the best of him with a submission. For those of you that may be wondering why Chad Gable's in the tournament, I explained it yesterday. He won last year's tournament. He was the B bracket champion, and then he beat Kenny Omega in the finale, the finals. Shocked the world. I made the joke yesterday on the previous day's show that he shocked the world, as in like the 5 people that have ever seen it, if that. Certainly shocked me. Like, I like Chad Gable a lot, but I did not expect him to get the better of Kenny. Because Kenny went undefeated all the way through. Like he just ran his bracket last year. He beat Seth Rollins in less than 6 minutes. Like it was crazy. So for him to get to Chad Gable and then lose was such a shocking moment. Like, excuse me for that. It literally, like, it was the last thing I expected. When I saw how Kenny performed through the whole tournament, and then that he was going to face Gable in the finals, I thought it was a done deal. I thought Kenny was going to be my first, champion of this tournament. But no, Gable won. And then AJ Styles was the champion at the time, because that was back when I was using the IWGP titles that come with the game. I was just using New Japan's belts in my PolyNerdic Pro Wrestling shows. But then I decided, not long after that, to rebrand and make a bunch of PolyNerdic Pro Wrestling belts in the game, the title creator. That way, I could do the IWGP belts of my own accord when I didn't feel like streaming, and then I had my PolyNerdic belts for the show, for the shows we did. But anyway, Gable won, got destroyed by AJ Styles, so he earned a title shot and then was just absolutely beaten to crap. Like AJ whooped him. But that's why Gable's in this tournament, because he's last year's champ. He gets a shot. Accordingly, he earned the right to be here this year. I was discussing in day one show too that like this year's Seth with the win off a Famouser type move. I wonder if that's supposed to be his version of the curb stomp in this. Yeah, they had the blackout. So that's they don't have a legit stomp, so that's what he uses. That's essentially the Famouser. That's disappointing in its own way. Alright. Okada is up next. And he's gonna go against Davey Boy Smith Jr. Davey Boy Smith Jr. is my current Intercontinental Champion. The PolyNerdic Pro Wrestling IC title is on his waist. He hasn't had a defense yet. I'm still figuring out who he's going to defend it against. If Okada beats him here, it might be Okada. He took it off Moxley. Moxley took it off of Luke Harper. Harper took it off of Ishii. That's, I think, the lineage of that belt. There hasn't been a lot of title changes since February. Like, I try to do 2 shows a month, plus any tournament action. So, like, if I feel like we have a tournament every other month of some sort. The women's tournament took a couple months to get done because I just didn't have time in April. I was just so mentally whooped in April that I didn't get much streaming done at all that month. Davey Boy Smith has 2 points. He beat Cody Rhodes on day 1. Okada beat Gable. So both these men have 2 points. Let's see, Ricochet's still at 0. Rollins is at 2 now. So Rollins pulled himself out of the loser part of the field. I try to keep track of the point totals as it goes, but sometimes it's just like, even though I open and close each episode of a tournament with a look at the brackets and the rankings, I consistently find myself forgetting who's where till towards the end when I start breaking it down. But we're a couple weeks away from getting that done. I love these Fire Pro streams though, because they're an hour or two, and you know, I get to play promoter, which is something I would have always. I don't say would have. I have always dreamed about, like when I was a kid and the Attitude Era was the thing, and WCW and WWE were going at it, WWF at the time. I just remember sitting in my bedroom as a kid, watching these shows. Like I would tape Nitro and watch Raw or Rainmaker might be it. No. Davey Boy says no to the Rainmaker. Not enough, sir. But I remember as a kid just wanting to run a promotion. Like briefly as a teenager, there was the talk of like, hey, let's train to be wrestlers when we're out of high school. But it never happened. I'm not an athlete by any shape of the imagination. Oh, almost. I do believe that would have been considered an upset if Davey Boy beat Okada in a singles match. But as I was saying, you know, growing up, always had that thought, like, oh yeah, it'd be great to be a professional wrestler. I would love it so much. But then you face the reality of the fact that you don't have an athletic bone in your body. You're not coordinated. You're not. You would be a fucking hazard in the ring. So you let go of that dream. But then the thought of being a promoter was always like I like storytelling. I would love to write and book shows and, you know, have angles and all that stuff. It appeals immensely to me, and so that's why I do this. Like, yeah, it's cool to have the promoter mode in this game, but truth be told, I'm not in love with it. Like, it's fun, but it's not my favorite thing. If I'm going to play Fire Pro, this is what I want to do. I want to book some matches and put a show together, put a tournament together, throw on the headset, live stream that shit, and talk about wrestling. Like, that's why I love these streams, because it lets me be a promoter with an unlimited budget. I can sign all the talent in the world. I don't have to worry about, like, injuries and stuff like that happening. I don't have to worry about, you know, scripting and all that stuff, like all the stress that goes with being a promoter. I don't gotta worry about. I don't gotta worry about egos. I don't gotta worry about a really talented wrestler who would be an excellent part of the show deciding that he doesn't want to be a part of the show because he has this title belt from another promotion and he doesn't want to lose. You know, I don't got to deal with stuff like that. Nice near finish there. There we go. Is it gonna be it? That's how I beat Cody. Dead center in the ring. Davey Boy Smith beats Okada. I told you yesterday in day one that I had a feeling that Davey Boy might end up being the dark horse. He might be the Chad Gable of this tournament. He might be the guy that goes all the way that you don't expect, you know? All right. Buddy Murphy versus Walter as our third match.
Fight.
Walter, as I said, tapped Seth out after a brutal fight. It's good stuff. Buddy, on the other hand, fell to John Moxley. We'll see how this goes. Two completely different kind of styles here. Both high impact though, so when there's actual impact. What I think what would be great about this game would be if, or games like it, you know how there's always the fight poster thing, like the WWE games do it really well, where you have the fight poster, this guy versus this guy. I wish games would let you create actual cards. Like, what I would love is a version of like the Fire Promoter mode where you make the matches and you have match 1, match 2, match 3, all the way, however many matches you do. I would love to be able to do that in a formal setting. That way I could just set up the matches. Like we have on a traditional PolyNerdic Pro Wrestling show, there's 11 matches for the 11 titles we have. And then if there's any extra matches, there might be 12 matches, 13 sometimes. I would love to be able to book the card. You know, this match is this match, this style of match, this title match, whatever. These are the participants. This is the name of the show. This is like a in-game poster would be cool as fuck. And then I would love to, like, they could make it so the poster is the loading screen, right? Or like the WWE games do it, where it's like Walter versus Murphy, and here's the two of them, and now we're loading the match in. That would be acceptable too. But I would like to set that up, start to finish, and then just let it run. That way, you don't have to see me go to the menu. You don't have to see me.
Give up.
Yeah, you don't have to see me set up the matches and shit between stuff. Like I know there's a way around that with editing software and all that stuff, but I don't have any of that. I'm poor. You know, I'm fucking streaming from my PlayStation 4, which is not the ideal setup. We all know that. The PlayStation 4 streaming setup seems to be slightly better than the Xbox One, at least as far as functionality goes. I find less issues when I stream from the PlayStation. But like, I would love to be able to set all that stuff up before I start the stream, and then fire the stream up as the first match starts or whatever, and then we're good. You know, like that would be the best. Now I could do a lot of that with Photoshop and editing software. Here we go. Here, is this Conan? Looks like Conan. Conan coming down to beat up Walter or Murphy. Who's he coming down for? Why is Conan coming down to help Walter? And then pretending to be an airplane. I didn't realize Conan and Buddy Murphy had beef. Ah, here comes Drew McIntyre. He's gonna come help his little buddy. As I mentioned during a match on day one, in my world, I created a faction called Imperial Ambition last year, and it's largely British, Australian. There is Fabian Eichner. Fabian Eichner did join it. I did put him in it, I should say. You know, it's a European faction, right? And so I make Imperial Ambition as a faction to basically surround Drew McIntyre and Buddy Murphy. Like, it's Buddy Murphy, it's Drew McIntyre, it's William Regal, it's Jordan Devlin, Jenny. I'm about to put Jazzy Gabbard in it because she's partnered with Jenny in NXT UK. Like, that's the faction. And then they go this year, and with Walter, they give him Alexander Wolf and Fabian Eichner and the other guy whose name escapes me at this moment, and they call him the Imperium. Like, it's like a fascist thing. Like, it's so funny to me. Like, I was just making fun of British colonialism, and then it slowly became a just overall European thing, and then they go and make the Imperium. Cracks me up. Walter with the win there. Doesn't surprise me. I love Buddy Murphy, but I expected Walter was going to win that. Drew McIntyre didn't stick around long enough to help. Alright, next one is Shingo versus alright, I somehow messed this up here. Oh, okay, I see what it is. I think I see what I did here. So Walter and Murphy were B bracket. Give me a second. I flubbed this up here. So the next one's A bracket, and it will be Shingo and Cody. He's at the end. Shingo and Cody. That's next. I think I see what I did here. Yeah, I see what I did here. There's 2 matches I didn't invert.
Fight!
That is what I did. Freaked myself out for a second because the next match after this was set to be Gable and Dain, and it's like, wait a minute, they're also A bracket. We fixed it. Found the flaw in the system. Now Cody and Shingo can tear it up.
Give up. Give up.
Brawling outside the ring. Nice move on the chair. I'm still not convinced that it actually causes any damage, but I like the look of it.
12, 13, 14, 15.
1, 2.
I could say it'd be a hell of a shitty way for that match to end, but it would be on brand for Cody. Oh, Shingo. Nice try, Cody. See, this is the thing. This is going back to that conversation about being a promoter. Like, this is why I love this game so much. This is why it was my second most played game last year. I put more hours into this game than any other game I played last year, other than Red Dead Redemption 2, because Red Dead Redemption 2 was a monster of a game. Yeah, I love the promoter aspect of this. Like Cody's no longer with New Japan. We're not going to see Cody versus Shingo ever, at least for the foreseeable future. But we can see it here. We can see it here.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15.
Oh, only a 2 count. Love the chairs everywhere. Up. Submission hold there. Shingo's a beast, though. Like, I said it in day one. That, like, it's so easy to believe he's not a junior heavyweight. Cody with the win. Off the complete shot, of all things. So Cody joins the winners. We're getting a lot of people with 2 points now. A lot of parity in this tournament. Let's see. Next is Moxley. Not versus Neville, though. Moxley versus Ibushi. This could be a hell of a thing. Could be.
Fight!
Looking at my Mario Maker output while we're doing this too, because I hadn't checked it in a couple days. Got some likes. Looks like Simple Castle might be my most liked level so far. I made a level that has the horribly incorrect grammar title of Odder Stuffs, O-D-D-E-R. And then the message is beware the downside up. Obviously, got a little carried away with the excitement of Stranger Things returning, and created a level that the entire sub-level's upside down with some really difficult platforming. It's had 2 runs and no completions. I like it. I think it's fantastic. If you're not playing, if you have a Switch and you're not playing Mario Maker 2, I don't know what's wrong with you. Unfortunately, none of my friends own Switches that I know of. And if they do, they're not on Nintendo Online.
Give up! Give up!
5 minutes gone.
Not enough to put Ibushi away. That dude's got a steel cranium, man. A fucking neck that's on a spring. Like, the fucking German suplex he took in. Was it Don Kaku that he took it in? Or Naito German suplexed him on the ring apron? Like, I don't know how he didn't break his fucking neck.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Neck breaker on the chair. I don't care. It looks cool. Guys, get in the ring.
2,
Ibushi flew.
4,
Crashed down on Moxley.
6.
These two are going to have a hell of a match when it happens. We're going to look that up again. Are these two in the same bracket? They may not be in the same bracket. Oh, he criticaled him. Credited him, is what I started to say. Moxley with the crit right in the middle of the ring. It doesn't get any more emphatic than that. Planted him dead center. Knocked him out cold. Damn. So Moxley pulling in the lead there with the 2 victories. Chad Gable versus Killian Dain's up next.
Fight!
Yeah, they're not in the same block. That's kind of lame. I was looking forward to Ibushi Moxley. It's not gonna happen unless they both win their respective blocks.
Give up.
I think we're doing good on time. I definitely am going to have time to wrap up day 2 here before I leave for the movie. Nice German. Oh, roll it. That probably took a lot out of a little guy like Gable. I mean, Gable's a strong dude, but Dain's huge. Gable. Gable not off to the hot start he was last year. He lost to Okada. But, I mean, is there shame in losing to Kazuchika Okada? I don't think so. Dude's one of the best in the world. Like, that's the beauty of this game, too. In addition to letting me live out my dream of being a promoter, I get to set up matches like Okada versus Rollins, or the Revival versus the Young Bucks. You know, like I can do shit like that. Oh, plantation. Kicked out. See, the One Wing Angel nobody kicks out of. I can't say the same for Damo Smith. Airplane spin. With a divide, it might be it. Yeah, Gable's not off to the great start he was last year. Dropped his first 2 matches. Can we call this a sophomore slump for Mr. Gable? Alright, time for the B bracket main event. And it's the right match. Look at that. The game read my mind. Neville versus Ospreay. Neville should just go to New Japan. I know he's in Dragon's Gate, but he should just go to New Japan. I don't know enough about Dragon's Gate to be excited about Dragon's Gate.
Fight!
Like, think about it. If Okada came to the WWE, he'd get Shinsuke'd. You know? Like, Shinsuke Nakamura is fucking amazing. Where's he been? When's the last time he's been on TV? Same with Rusev. Where the hell's Rusev been? I know he's not Japanese, but where the hell's Rusev been? Sorry, I got roped into watching what is definitely the hardest looking Mario Maker level I've ever seen. It was crazy. I just shared it on Twitter. If you follow me at PolyNerdic on Twitter, you will find it. Oh, that's a hell of a move. I love it. Didn't put him away though. Rings of Saturn. Super kick. Crowd's loving this shit, man. Lots of flippy fly and stuff. I like that exchange. That was good. Every show, man. Happens at least once every show. That might be it. Neville beats Ospreay. Ospreay's first run into the world of the PolyNerdic Round Robin Special Cup. It's not going so hot for him, I don't think. And that brings us to the main event of day 2. You're looking at it right there. Daniel Bryan versus Kenta Hideo Itami, as he's labeled in the game, as I know him, because I came late to the man's career, and he was Hideo Itami when I found out about him. So much like Neville, I have a hard time calling him by the name he goes by now. Although Kenta is a better name than fucking Pac. Because every time I hear Pac, I'm going to be honest with you, what I think of is fucking X-Pac. That's a stupid name too. Especially when you know the lineage of how that name logically came to be, where Sean Waltman was the 1-2-3 kid, and then he was 6, which was kind of cool, because SYXX just looks cool stylistically, in the 90s kind of way, you know, and then you go from 6 to 6-Pac, which is kind of like what they called him, which is obviously a Tupac reference, because they're trying to be cool. And then he fucking comes back to the WWE and he's X-Pac. Because, you know, he's part of Generation X. Which was fine until DX was no longer a thing, and then he continued to be X-Pac. Yeah, so that's my feelings on Pac. Every time I hear Neville referred to as Pac, even though that is the name he is using legally, I can't do it. Still a little shook from Okada losing to Davey Boy Smith Jr. That was crazy. Davey Boy might be the man to beat in this tournament right now. It is only day 2, though. We have plenty of time for things to shake out. I'm so excited. I can't wait for the G1 Climax tonight. Also, Spider-Man. Very much looking forward to that. Great kick to the head there. These two tearing it up. I would love to watch these two guys go at it for real. I don't know if they ever did. Let's look. I think they have. Of course, knowing Daniel Bryan's concussion history, it might be hard to watch these two go at it. It's like the match with him and Nigel McGuinness headbutting the shit out of each other. 2006. Ring of Honor, Glory by Honor 5. Night 2, 9/6/2016. Or 2006, rather. I'm going to have to watch that. And they wrestled Noah up on the monster. Alright, that's a match I'm going to have to hunt down, because I'm sure it was amazing. It's funny to see Daniel Bryan from his Bryan Danielson days. Shaved head, no beard. I guess I used to be, oh, go to sleep. That's a bad move for a guy with a concussion history to take. That reminds me, I gotta put Daniel Bryan and Eric Rowan together as a tag team. Another go to sleep. Didn't lead to success. A yes kick. Itami with the win. Kenta gets one over Daniel Bryan. And that's going to do it. That's the end of day 2 of this tournament. Real quick save before I forget, because I have tragically done that in the past. Forgot to save. Take a look at our rankings here. A bracket. Davey Boy Smith and Killian Dain are in the lead. Okada, Itami, Rhodes, and Shingo right behind him with 2 points. Gable and Bryan pulling up the rear. There's always one or two guys, man. Neville, Moxley, and Walter. Let's see. Kota, Ibushi, Seth Rollins have 2. Ricochet, Ospreay, Murphy pulling up the rear. Time will tell, man. We still got 5 more nights, 5 more days, 5 more rounds, however you want to cut it, of action before we figure out who's going to win this thing. Right now, after 2 days, Davey Boy Smith, Killian Dain looking pretty damn good. They're looking pretty unstoppable. So's Moxley and Walter. We'll see how it shakes out, though. I mean, it wouldn't be the first time that we could see, like, Gable, Bryan, Ospreay, and Murphy lose all but 1 or 2 matches. That's usually how it goes. It's like the game picks people and then says, all right, you're going to be the worst one in the bunch. Like, see, Chad Gable's the #1 seed, but he's in the rear. Like, the game likes to do that, I think. Something about the AI. But, as I said, this has been day 2. 2 days of action in the book. It's anybody's tournament at this point, though. Like, Davey Boy Smith could lose every match left, you know, and come in last place. You know, it could happen. So, we'll see where it goes. Thank you for watching. I'm going to go get ready to go see Spider-Man. I've still got about an hour before that, but I would like to, like, sit in some air conditioning before I go to the movies, because it's fucking hot in here. with the air conditioner off so I can stream. We talked about it on the podcast Saturday morning that it sucks having to shut off the air conditioner every time I do anything with the microphone, because I have a noisy ass wall unit. It makes things difficult. It really does. Especially since no matter where you're at, like even if I moved my streaming setup to the kitchen and took over the dining room table and whatnot, it would still be too noisy. Because the air conditioner's loud. It's a fucking wall unit. I don't know if y'all remember those or not. You kids grow up with your central air and whatnot. I'd kill for central air. It'd be amazing. But that's going to do it. I digress. I've rambled enough with my old man summertime ramblings. See you next time for more of the PolyNerdic Round Robin Special Cup. We'll be back with Day 3 in the very near future. And if you like this stuff, make sure you're checking out the G1 Climax, man. New Japan World is less than $9 a month. Totally worth it. Lots of wrestling on it. Not all of it with English commentary, but the wrestling is so good. Even my girlfriend, who does not like wrestling, she tolerates it. She'll go to shows with me. You know, like I say, she'll go to a show with me. We've only been to one together. But she'll sit here while I watch pay-per-views and whatnot, and look up from her book to see what's going on. And she said it yesterday while I was watching a retrospective of the G1, and she said that the New Japan stuff just looks real. Like, she knows it's predetermined, but it just has a look to it that just looks intense. And she's not wrong. These guys, they're something. A lot of them are something. But again, I digress. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time here on PolyNerdic.com, PolyNerdic on YouTube, PolyNerdic everywhere. Anything that's PolyNerdic, make sure you like, follow, and subscribe so you can see all the stuff. And shortly, sometime, maybe even tonight, I might stream a little bit of the mid-game of Judgment. I say tonight as I record this, not tonight as it posted. You know, if you didn't watch it live, you probably missed out on the Judgment stream. But I want to stream some of that too. So I'll see you around. Maybe some Sunday night. I can't guarantee that. Depends on once we're done with the cookouts and get the kids home and everything. I may not have the energy to stream, but we'll see. See you next time, though, for the third and final time I'm going to say it. See ya.